don't I start by welcoming everybody with a big good morning and welcome to the Animal Care and Rescue Center. I'm John Racanelli. I'm the CEO of the aquarium, and before we begin, I'd like to recognize we are very pleased to have so many of our important leaders in the room, and I'd like to recognize some of our key friends in the government. So first and foremost, Mayor Catherine Pugh. Thank you, Mayor. Representing our great state, we have Secretary David Brinkley, Maryland's head of the Department of Budget and Management, Secretary. As well as our good friend, Secretary Mike Gill of the Department of Commerce. And yes, and he did wear the properly themed tie. We do have a fish tie competition. It wasn't announced, though. Senator Bill Ferguson is here, our great from the Fighting 46, as well as Senator Nathaniel McFadden. Where is Senator? Oh, he's on his way. Is our Speaker Pro Tem Adrienne Jones here yet? I know she's coming. She is a beloved friend to this aquarium, has been so good to us, and when she gets here, I'm gonna kneel down and just kiss her. Also from the Fighting 46, my district as well, Delegate Brooke Lehrman. And our city councilman, Councilman Robert Stokes. We're pleased to be a part of your district now, Councilman. Also, I believe, is Councilman Costello here? He's en route as well. Representing Senator Ben Cardin is Joyce Leviton. Joyce, take a bow. Chuck Connor is here on behalf of Senator Chris Van Hollen. Chuck. Lester Davis is here representing City Council President Jack Young. Lester, here somewhere. Come on up front, Lester. And very pleased to have with us three very important partners of ours, and that is Bill Cole from the Baltimore Development Corporation. Where'd Kirby go? Kirby Fowler from the Downtown Partnership. And Lori Schwartz from the Waterfront Partnership, with whom we are pleased to be members in both cases and very proud of it. I'd also like to recognize the following members of our National Aquarium Board. First, our immediate past chair, and he's a happy man because he just passed the gavel, Tom Robinson. Tom, take a bow. And Tom saw this through from inception to completion, which is why we put your name on this thing, Tom. You're stuck here now. You can't escape. And he's, of course, still staying on our board and very much an important part of our organization. And several board members, I'll read them all off and then take a bow. Well, I can't. I have to start with one of our most important board members, Nancy Grasmick. Dr. Grasmick has been an inveterate proponent for the educational value of both the aquarium and now this wonderful institution. More to follow on that. Also here with us is Poetry Deal from the Mayor's Office. Where are you, Poetry? Rob Merritt, Ted Weiss, John Bremer, Dave Churchill, Chuck Tilden, Toby Thompson, and Chuck Phillips. Please recognize them with me for their volunteer service. Where's Jane? Jane made it in. Hi, Jane. Sorry about that. Jane Dropa. So I think we've already gotten to some of this, but this great day would not have been possible without the support of three very important agencies that have really made it possible for this Animal Care and Rescue Center to exist. And I'd especially like to thank the state of Maryland, the city of Baltimore, and Baltimore County. We could not have done it without either of those three great partners. Thank you. Actually, this day's been in the making since 1993. That was when the aquarium rented a very small hunk of a big building in Fells Point. Anybody here ever been to the old Animal Care Center in Fells? We were in there for 25 years. And that little rented facility on a quiet street in Fells Point was quite the backwater in 1993. And as we all know, there are no quiet streets in Fells Point anymore. That's good. And after 25 years of paying rent, it was high time that we built a purpose-built facility that would support our world-class aquarium in a community where we thought we could also make a difference. And this historic community of Jonestown is just that place. We're pleased beyond words to join partners like Living Classrooms, Ronald McDonald House, and Helping Up Mission as part of Jonestown's amazing revitalization. And we're especially thankful for the help of the Historic Jonestown Board and the Jonestown Planning Council. And just generically, I want to thank Joe Cronin and his board and all the people that have welcomed us so nicely into this community. Thank you. To turn this vision into reality, we needed a lot of help, and we got it from two really outstanding local firms. First of all, Design Collective, and it's one of its principals, Matt Hebert, who is, I think, here somewhere. And also our amazing contractors, Plano Cowden. And I want to thank Matt, Ryan, Brett, Roy, Mike, and Craig. Thank you guys for building an incredible project on time and on budget. And Roy put up with my drop-in visits at all hours of the day and night. Here's your hard hat, John. I'll go with you. Made sure I didn't fall into any holes. We have an incredibly talented internal design and project team who've worked for 2 years to bring this project home. I'd love to name all of them, but I won't. My allotted time here would make that impossible, or you would all be either sleeping or running for the hills. But it is important to recognize a few critical teams. Our exhibit design team, our development and fabrication team, and our animal care and welfare team. You're going to meet a bunch of them in a few minutes when I get out of the way. But please help join me in giving them a warm round of applause for their incredible work. Many of them are in the classroom next to us. So what this center means is you cannot operate a world-class aquarium without a world-class support facility. As we said in our invitation, it's sort of the beating heart of the aquarium. Another way to describe it is the aquarium behind the aquarium. This beautiful and flexible space for our animal care operations, our exhibit fabrication, many of our conservation team members are housed here, is what will make this facility truly unique among all aquariums in the country. And this will be the first that has ever allowed the public in special guided tours to be able to see what goes on behind the scenes, how we care for the animals, breed endangered species, take care of rescued and stranded animals such as our seals, one of whom you'll meet in a few minutes. And I'm very, very pleased that you are the first to see it. And before we get a chance to see it, though, I want to introduce a couple of our most important friends here. Our first speaker is our great mayor, Catherine Pugh, whose administration has shown incredibly strong support from the start and was here for our groundbreaking in January of last year. It was a little different, and the hard hats were very fashionable. So pleased to have you back here, Mayor Catherine Pugh.
John, let me first say thank you. And I did wear a hard hat, which is not something that I will often don, but for this particular occasion, I absolutely did. And you know, the aquarium has been one of my favorite institutions for quite a long time, as you well know. I think when I was a city council early on, I wanted to do a celebration of the aquarium where we created the Fish Out of Water project. And we ended up raising $1 million and providing instruments for the children in our city. So again, the aquarium. Let's just give the aquarium a big round. I have to acknowledge those that I have to work with because they're very important to the city, and I know that they've been recognized. Our Senator Ferguson and our Delegate Brooke Learman and our Councilman Stokes, thank you for being here. But let me just say this to you and to the state. Our budget secretary also, we used to sit next to each other on the finance committee. So we not only served in state government, but become very good friends. Thank you also, and all of you all for being here. So I'm not going to call a bunch of names. I just want to pay tribute to this particular place. You know, how lucky are we that we have an institution that understands the importance of being a part of community. And this is a community that not only opened its arms, but welcomed this institution because it becomes an educational facility as well. And Nancy, I don't think anybody understands that as much as you do. And Nancy and I go way back, having developed the first experimental high school in the state of Maryland, and we're going to get it done here in Baltimore as well. But I want to thank all of the board members and everyone who understands the importance of not just educating, but expanding institutions in our city that mean so much to all of us. You know, this says that the aquarium will be around long after all of us are gone, because it has not only become an institution that we invite our tourists to come see, but it is now an institution that has grown in terms of how it cares for its animals, and for that we are grateful. Do we call them animals?
You call them animals.
I just want to make sure we call
Back then,
them
the staff calls me an
turtles
animal.
and amphibians. But, you know, I'm just really grateful, and I love the work that we do here at the aquarium, and I love the attachment to the community. And as you've already heard, we're going to be a part of a larger development in this area. And this is one of many buildings that will engage the public right here in near downtown Baltimore. But again, I want to say thank you to, let me also say thank you to Harbor Bank, who participated in the New Market Tax Credit Program for this particular building. And to all of those who are leading this institution. The only thing that we want for you is to continue to grow this institution, to continue to attract people in the neighborhoods and communities, and more importantly, for the aquarium to be one of the greatest institutions as we see it, not only in the state of Maryland, but throughout this nation. Thank you. And with that, we present you with our certificate of recognition for the National Aquarium's Animal Care and Rescue Center. We know that you'll find some great place in here.
We shall indeed. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. Keep those rewards. The $3 million that the state of Maryland committed to this project has been absolutely critical to its success. We could not be more grateful that our leaders in Annapolis viewed this project as a priority and saw it as a great investment. Particularly Governor Larry Hogan, his Secretary of Budget and Management, David Brinkley, our chair, the head of the Commerce Department, Mike Gill, the chairs of the Capital Budget Subcommittee and Appropriations Committees, Delegate Jones, who has been a tireless friend of ours in the Assembly. And we're very happy to have Senator Brinkley here to speak on behalf of the state and celebrate this milestone. So please join me in welcoming David Brinkley.
Thank you, John. And Mayor, it's great to see you again. Mr. Secretary, it's good to see you. I didn't know you were here, but it certainly is appropriate. You'd have, what, fish on your tie?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And all that. And members of the delegation, it's great to be here in front of you, too. I bring you greetings on behalf of the governor and the lieutenant governor, and he's very excited about what goes on here. But I also have some of my Department of Budget and Management team members. Nick Peppersack is my communications guy. And he and I yesterday were up in Oakland, Garrett County, Cumberland, and what a difference a day makes, because we were in a marijuana production facility yesterday. And we had the Tyvek suits on, and it was remarkable. And Susan Gore, I don't know where Susan is. She has to have one of the best jobs when it comes to this. She is the capital budget analyst that gets to cover the project and go behind the scenes and enjoy all that. And so they all have varied responsibilities throughout the state. Susan, where are you? I don't know if you're in this room. There she is. And so she, and I can tell you that when we came down to discuss different projects, Susan was like, I'm so excited about this one. I'm so excited about this one. So her enthusiasm certainly carried part of the day. But it's great to be here. Like I said, I bring you greetings on behalf of the governor. I'm told that you have, and I've been in the other aquarium, but I just don't recall it, and maybe it's one, because I always had kids with me when I was going through it, but that there's I guess a back fin up on top, which is Omega. Is that true that there's a whale skeleton up above?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes, it's a fin whale, thank you.
I'm glad we got the facts straight. That's kind of key. But what I didn't know, and what I was told, was that to fit Omega into the space, you had to remove some of the ribs. Now that's an interesting kind of budget reduction that I haven't employed or thought of.
A couple vertebrae too.
And vertebrae too, to make it fit the space. But I think it's critical that, as everybody sometimes asks, why is the state supporting a project like this? Well, we certainly are excited about the community, the neighborhood, the city. $30 million is the impact that the aquarium contributes back to the state and to our communities. So while you're certainly very proud to be in the city, and we're certainly very proud to have you in the city, there is certainly a positive impact throughout the state. And so again, on behalf of the governor, he's sorry he couldn't be here, but we certainly bring greetings and are very excited for the project that you have and for the new opportunities that this is going to present for you to fulfill your mission. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. And I hope your staff gets just into the work enough, but not so much that, for example, when doing the background work on the marijuana center, I hope you didn't find it Susan, I don't know.
Just said security is impressive.
Well, and I hadn't had a chance to tell you yet, Mr. Secretary, but you had to wear a Tyvek suit yesterday. In a little while, we're going to be putting you in a wetsuit. We have some work we need to do together in the big tank.
I think we have obscenity laws in this.
We are very proud to be accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. It is the leading such institution in the world. We partner with the AZA and it's over 300 member institutions to encourage people to respect, value, and conserve wildlife and habitats throughout the world. We believe that this new center will be an innovative way to do that. And I'm going to introduce the president of AZA in a moment, but I want to tell a quick anecdote. For many years, every 5 years, AZA's team comes out and they are rigorous. We fill out it used to be in binders that were as thick as a dictionary. Now it's a digital file that requires its own thumb drive, but times change. It's huge, voluminous, 3-day visit by a visiting team of experts, peer experts, and then a report is issued, and then we stand before the Star Chamber. Dan sort of sits near the corner, but the rest of the accreditation committee stands tall, and you say, "Are we okay? Are we okay?" And they say, "Yes, you're okay." But there are a few things you could improve upon. And for the last 3 accreditations, the singular issue that AZA did gently remind us of was that our animal care and rescue facility was pretty substandard. It was falling, there was rusting pipes and there was old duct work, and they said, if you could work on that a little bit, we'd sure like to see that kind of improvement. Otherwise, everything you're doing is world class. Well, we took you at your word, Dan, and this is all your fault. As Yogi Berra used to say, thank you for making this day necessary. Dan Ash is the CEO of AZA. He comes to AZA from being the director of the Department of Fish and Wildlife, an incredible friend to animals and aquariums and zoos that are focused on their conservation and education mission. And I'd like to invite him up to the podium. Dan?
Thank you very much, John, Mayor, Secretary. It's a privilege and an honor to be with all of you here today. As John said, AZA is the gold standard throughout the world for a modern aquarium and zoo. And so when you are a member of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, you must be accredited to be a member. And that means you are among the very best zoological institutions in the world. When you are at the top of that class, which is where the National Aquarium in Baltimore resides, you are the very best of the best. And this facility here today expands upon that reputation of National Aquarium as not just good, but excellent and among the best of the best. And as the president and CEO of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, this is a symbol of pride in what a modern aquarium and zoo is and can be for the people who visit and who will be inspired by those visits, for nature and the animals who depend on inspired human beings to help them, and for the community of Baltimore. And so it is a proud day to be here and to help you celebrate your accomplishment and what it means for people, for animals, and for community. And I will just say that when people in this region, I have lived in Maryland for 39 years. My 2 children grew up here and live here now. And so creating institutions like this is what makes Maryland such an exceptional place to live and such a proud place to call home. And when people in the Mid-Atlantic say the Bay, there is no question about what they are talking about. And because of investments like this, when people in the Mid-Atlantic region say the aquarium, there is no question about what they are talking about. They are talking about an extraordinary zoological institution that is now going to lead the world in the rescue and rehabilitation of wildlife. So thank you very much, John. Thank you to all of the aquarium staff. Thank you to everybody here who has provided support for this day. It's a proud moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan. Actually, I'm hoping that in another year or two, everywhere in the world, when they say the aquarium, they're going to be referring to us. Some of my peers may not be so happy about that, but we'll get there. Well, I want to thank all of our speakers. In keeping with what the Secretary said about, maintaining costs, value engineering, one of the value engineering decisions we made was to only put one chiller in the attic instead of two. And I think we're feeling the effects of that. So we're going to get on with the program here. We're going to be joined by a very important guest. We do have a pile of scissors, and we're going to use them. But before we do, Joey is going to help us. You might have noticed on the program, the only speaker actually noted was Joey, the yellow-footed tortoise. That's because we knew we could count on Joey to be here. But also because he is quite a guy. And so we're going to bring out a ribbon very specially made for Joey. And after that, the mayor and the rest of our party will come out, and we will also cut another ribbon for the cameras. So I think we need to wheel this away, right? And now for a more conventional treatment. I would like to invite up Mayor Pugh, Secretary Brinkley, Dan Ash from AZA, Secretary Gill, and our esteemed Senator Ferguson, and Delegate Brooke Learman, and Councilman Stokes, and Tom Robinson. And we, together, will cut this ribbon into smithereens, following which we will then give everybody here an opportunity to explore the building. So with that, let's get on with it.
All cameras good?
3, 2, 1.